Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Welcome back.
Here we go again.
Yay.
Another record being broken.
Well, as long as nobody gets hurt.
Well, nobody got hurt in this one, thankfully.
That's good.
So this is Asteroid 2020 VT4, and it made a extremely close approach to Earth. 0.02 lunar distance. Lunar distance, right? So, again, that's roughly like 239,000 miles. So this is close.
That's like buzzing Earth.
Yeah, this is legit close. And so this one flew by on the 13th, and this one made this the closest known asteroid to fly by Earth without hitting us, surpassing 2020 QG, which flew by us and set the previous record on August 16th this year.
Wow.
So 2020 VT4 is the 91st known asteroid to fly by Earth within one lunar distance since the start of the year, and the 6th so far this month. It was first observed at Atlas MLO, Mauna Loa, Hawaii on the 14th, one day after its closest approach. So, that wouldn't have done any good as far as warnings go.
Nope.
Nope. It's like, yeah. Well, oh, by the way, remember that explosion? Well, yeah, we didn't see it coming.
They seem to do that a lot.
Yeah, very interesting. So this is part of the Apollo group of asteroids, estimated diameter of around 16 to 36 feet. So this is not a civilization record by any means, but another real close one.
Yeah, it could leave a pretty good dent.
Now, this is curious. Here we go again. This Hurricane Iota, which is the 30th named storm in the Atlantic Basin, Atlantic Caribbean, this is taking the same sort of path again, and it's going to be hitting Central America, which is already reeling. And it's also doing that crazy rapid intensification, like more than they had thought originally type thing.
I know, this is really weird.
I don't blame this on Mother Earth at all. I think that there's other things in play here.
Yeah, definitely.
So you see its movement is west-northwest at 9 miles an hour, and let's hope that doesn't even slow down anymore, because that's when we get into this huge problem of just saturating things. Right now, the winds are 90 miles an hour, but as you can see, it's expected to get up to Category 4, so we are talking about a replay.
I know. How does that happen?
Yeah, how does that happen? Look at everybody. They're just standing there with their hands on their hips, and they're soaking wet with pants on. That's just miserable. That is just miserable. And this is in Honduras.
I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, so here we go again. Again, rapid intensification hitting Central America as a major hurricane. Potentially catastrophic winds, dangerous storm surge, life-threatening inland flooding. And as we said, this area has already been absolutely pounded. Iota comes barely a week and a half after Hurricane Eta ravaged this area, Nicaragua, and Honduras. Category 4 strength, and this is going to be a Category 4 probably again. This is what they're saying at the moment. Who knows, And we're getting deeper and deeper into the end of the season, hopefully.
Thank goodness, right?
So, Eta brought deadly flooding and mudslides to Central America. If the current forecast holds true, Iota's eye wall, which is the ring of thunderstorms surrounding the column I, could directly hit the same area again, Puerto Cabezas. Boom. With Category, 4 power. And again, 30th hurricane of the 2020 season, a feat matched only once before. And of course, they're going to blame all this on, what?
Right.
Yes, carbon-based emissions and global warming. It's just incredible that we're seeing this. So let's send our prayers out there, and let's see some maybe wind shear develop and shred this thing to oblivion.
Please.
Powerful low-pressure system and cold front's going to be sweeping through the eastern U.S. We were talking about the record highs that were going through there, so things will change. And that's one of the things that we have is rapid change going on. So a powerful low-pressure system and cold front will sweep through the eastern U.S. on Sunday. As a result, widespread high wind warnings and wind advisories are in effect across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley. And we had massive winds yesterday. It was super windy. So temperatures ahead of the front should be about 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit above normal today in much of the east, then cooling to a few degrees below normal Monday after the front as we see it push on in. And, I've had some of our friends and family members saying, what do you think it's going to look like? And, it's really hard to say because things change. And again, I would expect extremes as far as, this winter.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm expecting too.
Most definitely. So you're going to have some precipitation, snow in the Cascades, Northern Rockies, and Wind River Mountains, the Tetons. Winter weather advisories remain in effect for those areas. Rain totals in lower elevations will likely be highest in far northwestern California and southwestern Oregon today. And flood watches are in effect over there as well, as we see the system over here and high pressure through much of the rest of the country. And meanwhile, we have Typhoon Vamco making a landfall in disaster-stricken central Vietnam. And, we have talked about what Vietnam and the Philippines have gone through this year. They've been pounded.
I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, and again, this is another region that has been pounded by successive storms that have left at least 230 people dead or missing and 400,000 homes damaged or destroyed.
Wow.
So this one's a very strong typhoon, said the Prime Minister prior to the storm's landfall, warning provinces in the storm's path to prepare as authorities plan to evacuate almost 500,000 people.
Oh my, that's terrible.
Airports, beaches have been closed, fishing ban has been enforced. State media added that hundreds of thousands more may have to flee. And so Vamco made a landfall roughly 62 miles northwest of Da Nang on Sunday morning. With winds of 93 miles an hour, high waves caused damage to boats and ships as well as some houses along the coast as well. Incredible, and there's some video there to check that out. And meanwhile, North Carolina went through incredible flooding, and a statewide state of emergency was initiated and put into effect. And I wanted to share with you guys this link because I'm very familiar with all these areas, have driven around and through all these areas so many times. This bridge, too, the lady is right here. The reporter is right here looking off to the side, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just drops, literally feet away from her.
I know, that was crazy.
And then she goes and stands closer.
Yes,
it didn't make any sense because that chunk fell, maybe another chunk's going to fall.
Yeah, I know.
Again, this is the Charlotte area. And they did live in Charlotte for a while. And look at that. It's just flooded. Historic rainfall. And Charlotte picked up over 4 inches in 4 hours.
Wow.
And this is 277. Driven through there many times. Never saw flooding like that before.
That is incredible.
So we see over here, GeoNet raises alert level and aviation color code for White Island Volcano in New Zealand. And, so we're going to keep an eye on this. This has been raised to level 2, aviation color code to yellow, so not red yet. But this is one to watch because this one has actually claimed lives in the past. And that was the case with some tourists over there that were just, sightseeing, and then it did erupt.
Oh, that's too bad.
And this is wild. This tells you not to carry a pickup truck bed loaded with fish because you got 40 bald eagles that attacked this car in Alaska because they were hungry. And why? Well, because the pickup bed was loaded with fish, so they were going crazy and they were just taking what they would.
Can't blame them.
Yeah, you can't blame them. It says something about the times we are in as well. Yeah, that looks pretty scary, doesn't it? Like an AI takeover. Well, this is how your eye looks after a keratoprosthesis. And so this is a surgical procedure during which a diseased cornea is replaced with an artificial cornea. So far, no, that's not being assimilated into the Borg as of yet.
It looks like a bot for sure.
It does. It looks pretty freaky. So Mars, mounting evidence for subglacial lakes. Really? Could they really host life? What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, Cindy has seen, and okay, we'll talk more about it in the upcoming video. But she has definitely seen that not only did Mars have life, but there's still life on Mars.
There is, for sure. Yeah.
Intelligent life, too, as we did some remote viewing of it and had some interesting descriptions, which we will share with you guys in more detail. So, as we see, Venus may harbor life some 50 kilometers above its surface. We just learned that a couple weeks ago. Now, a new paper published in Nature Astronomy reveals that the best place for life on Mars might be more than a kilometer below the surface, where an entire network of subglacial lakes has been discovered. Really?
Very interesting.
Yeah, that disclosure coming out, and then we still get people that don't think there's any life anywhere but Earth, and, it boggles my mind. Of course, there's tons of life out there.
Plenty of life.
Mars was not always so cold, not always as dry as it is now, but it doesn't mean that, there's not a lot of wetness below the surface. Doesn't mean that there's still not, beings operating, perhaps in big underground cities under the surface, and perhaps there's bases.
Definitely.
So we see there's abundant signs that water flowed across its surface in the distant past, but today you'd struggle to find any crevices that you could call moist. Yeah, well, it does have polar caps at times.
It sure does.
Depending on the season. So, very interesting. But yes, lakes beneath the ice. And it's beginning to look like the most favorable place for liquid water on Mars is indeed beneath the vast south polar ice cap. On Earth, such lakes began to be discovered in Antarctica in the 1970s, just in the 1970s. And now nearly 400 are known. Most of these have been found by radio echo sounding, basically radar, in which equipment on a survey aircraft emits radio pulses. So, there you go. And even down in Antarctica, what's down there underneath the surface with all that fresh water? We know all about New Schwabenland and the Nazi bases down there, and the talk of ET bases that are perhaps still there. Why did all those leaders go rushing off there those years ago? Was that 2016 or 2017? 2017, I think.
I thought 2016, 2017, right in the cusp, maybe.
Right in the cusp, yeah. So maybe they had to go report to Enki and Enlil.
Yes, perhaps.
Or maybe Marduk.
Yeah, somebody
down there. The head Draco.
Yes.
So guys, as always, thank you for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.